Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the city's Rethink Your Holiday Waste Workshop. We are hoping to host these every holiday season. We've had similar webinars or workshops in the past where we address different types of waste that may come up at different times of the year, different seasons, different holidays. Most recent example is proper etiquette when it comes to or options and opportunities for disposing of your pumpkin after Halloween. So for this particular webinar, we'd like to address the options that might be available for you for recycling and waste disposal during the holiday seasons for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I'm Evan Novell. I'm a project manager with City of Orlando Solid Waste Division, and today with me I have Melody. She is a recycling associate with the city as well, and we're just going to go over a brief presentation on how to properly dispose of many of the common items that are associated with the holiday season, some alternatives for some of those items, and address how the holiday season in general kind of impacts the waste stream and where those items should inevitably end up. So we'll go ahead and get started. So zero waste in the city of Orlando. I just want to preface everything we say here by going over what our zero waste goal looks like. The city of Orlando strives to become a zero waste community by eliminating solid waste sent to the landfills by 2040. So we have a couple decades to work with this, before we move any further, we just want to make sure that it's that everyone's aware that this is not simply recycling, right? There's many aspects of zero waste that the city is engaging in, recycling just being just one of those components. So we have food waste, recycling, and many other programs and strategies that we're working on a broad scale to implement to remove that waste from the landfill. So everything we throw away has potential value. It's important to remember that, while we're out shopping for items, for gifts, purchasing groceries for food and get-togethers, those items have use and value that lasts after we use them, after we give that gift, after we receive that gift, after we cook that food. It has a potential value and life cycle associated with it. So just, moving forward, let's remember that all those products require water, natural resources, energy to produce, harvest, transport, and so on. Many of you are familiar with the 3 R's, sometimes the 4 R's, also more recently 5 R's. Recycling is just one of these R's, and believe it or not, it's lower on that triage pyramid of what is preferred for each item that could be recycled or reused or reduced or refused, right? So this presentation mainly focuses on recycling, but we're also going to go over different alternatives for some of the common holiday items, how certain items can be reused, right? A lot of the gifts or decorations that we buy for Christmas and other holidays can be used year after year. So it's important to remember that come the end of the holiday season, not everything needs to be thrown away or recycled. It can be reused. Even before that, we can reduce what we purchase, what we consume. And then, first and foremost, we can refuse, right? We can refuse items that have excess packaging or have limited reuse capabilities. Refuse items that have to be shipped a tremendous distance, which has an environmental impact associated with it. So the other benefits of recycling these items are a positive impact on the environment. There's a cost savings potential, right? If you're not buying these items yearly, you inevitably save money from year to year. And like we said earlier, this includes more than just recycling. So why focus on holiday waste? This is a question we get that comes up sometimes, and believe it or not, what the waste stream looks like in Orlando and across the nation and the world really for every holiday is that waste stream changes to accommodate for the influx or the increase in shopping, consumption, and that shopping encompasses everything from gifts, online shopping, groceries. So with that comes an increase in overall waste and recycling. So just some facts and figures here. to kind of illustrate what the holiday season looks like from a solid waste and recycling perspective. Americans throw away 25% more trash during Thanksgiving to New Year season. This is more than any time of the year. This is about 1 million extra tons per week. If every American family wrapped just 3 presents in reused materials, it would save enough paper to cover 45,000 football fields. On Thanksgiving Day alone, an estimated 200 million pounds of turkey, 150 million pounds of sides, and 14 million pounds of dinner rolls are wasted. And then 33% more food is thrown away during the holidays. So incredible, holidays are incredible for everyone, but they're also an incredible opportunity to make a very strong impact on that waste diversion effort, right? So where is the waste generated during the holidays? Kind of go over, pinpoint some of these areas where, we as consumers are more susceptible to increasing our overall waste as people, and as we shop, as we eat, and then as we inevitably dispose of these different items. So shopping is one, gifting, decorations, and then holiday gatherings and feasts. Okay, so well, first we'll talk about shopping. There's a couple items here we can go over, different ways we shop. I'll go over these very briefly, and then Melody will have some input on some of the other aspects of the holiday waste. So use reusable shopping bags. As we're out shopping for either groceries or gifts or presents, typically, we're using plastic bags, paper bags, but using reusable shopping bags, similar to how you would use when you go to the grocery store. These are all great options for cutting back on some of that holiday waste. We can also buy from zero waste or sustainable stores. Orlando has a couple of these options where you can bring your own items to be filled. Anything from edible items to soaps, other liquids, other items that you can bring your own container and have it filled rather than purchasing that item with a brand new container. We can favor items with less packaging, especially when it comes to transportation. Certain items have to be packaged excessively in order to ensure their preservation over that transportation period. So an option for that is to shop more locally. We have local organic markets, farms. City of Orlando in particular has the Audubon Farmers Market, the Lake Eola Farmers Market, and I believe we have another farmers market that popped up over in the Packing District. So there are these options for sourcing, ingredients for your holiday cooking more locally. Some of these items have no packaging at all, so it's a good way to cut back on a lot of that packaging associated with holiday shopping. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass this to Melody, who's going to talk to you a little bit about online shopping.
Hi, everyone. So for online shopping, we will recommend using consolidated shipping options if you aren't in a time crunch. Choose a longer shipping option or the one that would allow your items to arrive at the same time in one box. This reduces shipping, materials, and delivery vehicle trips. Also, favor local vendors and sustainable purchasing options. So you could choose producers that use recycled shipping materials or sustainable packaging materials. And if you did an online order for a local store, you could choose to pick up your order if the store or they have a brunch in your vicinity. So when you're online shopping, also keep in mind that we could always minimize the need for returns by double checking the sizes or the colors of the items that you would like to purchase, and try to minimize mistakes when you put in that order. So what do we do with packaging materials? So styrofoam and air cushions should be deflated and taken along with plastic bags to your local grocery store that does recycling for those items. And you could also flatten boxes and cardboard packaging and place them in your recycling cart or dumpsters. Oversized boxes can be flattened and taken to a drop-off location. So you could always visit the list of locations on our website, orlando.gov/recycling. So moving on to gift giving and also receiving gifts. For gift giving, we could do a lot of creative things with wrapping presents. So versus the traditional wrapping paper and ribbons, we could always make use of materials that we already have at home. For example, old newspapers, magazines, even maps that you got out of your travels. So you can also use old clothing or a piece of cloth that you think that are pretty enough to be wrapped in presents. And also you can also make use of like dried greenery or pine cones that could produce a presentable and beautiful gift. Of course, gift bags are also an option, and they can be used again and again. So basically get creative with wrapping gifts. Also, there's this option to gift experiences instead of things. You could always book an eco tour package for a family or friend, buy them aquarium tickets, or buy them a state park or national park pass, or even cooking classes, or a trip to somewhere, and that would make a difference. So you reduce waste in that way. And there's also the option to donate in their name to a cause that they care for. This could be to, just for example, this could be to Coral Restoration Foundation, Turtle Hospital, to the state parks, or etc. And for receiving gifts, so like if we have the intention to move to a more sustainable and conscious living, we could also make known our preferences to our family and friends. So ask your family members to give you zero or low waste presents. If you are open to receiving a unique secondhand gift from, for example, a thrift store or from themselves, you can tell them so and explain the reason behind your intentions. So here's what I would say to my friends and family. Hi, friends and family. I'm excited to spend time with you this upcoming holiday season. You may not know, but I've recently started to be more environmentally conscious. So I'm asking for a favor this year. If we are exchanging gifts, please give me something without single-use plastics or paper. I am also open to a used book of yours if you think that I may enjoy it. You don't even have to wrap it. Yeah, this is just an example, so you could always tweak that script around and let them know your intentions. So moving on to decorations. So every year we kind of spend a lot of money buying new decorations for our homes or office. There's a lot of way to do this consciously. You could always use pre-loved items, secondhand items from last year, or you could get new stuff from yard sales, thrift shop, or online marketplace. You can also swap decor with your friends, family, or colleagues to have a fresh look for the year. For other types of decorations, you can also make it, for example, a family project where you people gather and just make do it yourself craft project with leftover materials like ribbons or leftover wrapping paper from previous years. And also natural materials from your yard would be another interesting material to look into when making such decorations. For Christmas trees, you can buy an artificial Christmas tree, which can be used for many years down the road. And you can also build a tree with books like the picture in this slide, which I think are, looking pretty amazing. If you are still looking to buy a natural Christmas tree, just make sure that you dispose of your tree properly. Christmas trees are collected with your yard waste the first few weeks after Christmas. Make sure to remove all decorations and tinsel from the tree and place it curbside on your regular yard waste collection day before 6 a.m. If a tree is more than 6 feet tall, cut it half before placing it out. There's also an option to, if you have a backyard composter, you can also choose to shred the tree and compost it, or even use it as a natural herbicide for your garden. Now I'll pass it back to Evan to talk about holiday gatherings and feasting.
All right, thank you, Melody. Yeah, again, there are just important takeaways from that particular section of the webinar is that the city of Orlando does pick up your Christmas tree. We pick it up with yard waste. So like Melody said, just make sure that it has all the ornaments removed from it. If it's over 6 feet tall, please cut it in half so it's easier on our crews out there picking them up. So for holiday gatherings and feastings, plan meals accordingly, right? Sometimes, we have family members that say they're going to show up and they end up not. So there's, always going to be some wiggle room, but the guesstimator here can help you plan accordingly to buy those ingredients and cook an appropriate amount of food, prepare for the appropriate amount of people when it comes to the holiday gatherings. So you can also start composting in your backyard. If you are a City of Orlando resident and you have reside in a single family home, you can request a composter free of charge for your backyard. You delivered usually within a week or two. It comes assembled, so you just set it up somewhere in your backyard and you're immediately good to go with a backyard composting program. And all that information on how to backyard compost, what to backyard compost, can be found on the website here listed below. You can ask guests to bring reusable containers to pack food home, right? Inevitably, there's tons of leftovers. Even if we're using the guesstimator, it's likely that we're going to have tons of leftovers for both Thanksgiving and other holiday meals and get-togethers. So best thing to do is say, hey, if you want to take some food home, bring your to-go containers, your Tupperware, and we'll be more than happy to send you home with some extra food. You can also recycle your used cooking oil. So City of Orlando has a program to provide these plastic containers that people can take home and fill with grease, cooking oil that they produce at their homes. Then we have several drop-off locations which can be found again here at the website listed below. So continuing with holiday gatherings and feastings, plan to incorporate leftovers into other recipes. So that was kind of a big thing for me. Always looked at leftovers as just leftovers, right? Food items that are left over from a previous meal. Once you start to think about leftovers as ingredients for new meals or new recipes, gets much more exciting. Here's just another link here for some recipe resources on how to utilize those common holiday leftovers. You can also bring your leftovers to a food waste drop-off location. The city has several, across city limits. We have them listed here a little bit later on, but several of our farmers markets have these locations, as well as the solid waste administrative office has a 24/7 location where you can bring any of your food scraps and it will be commercially composted. If you're a guest, offer to take food waste home to a drop-off location on the way home. So just another option if you're, removing yourself from the cooking this year, but you still want to help out. Good option for you is to help take some of that food waste and drop it off at one of these locations on your way home. All right, so kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty, some of the more common questions people have when it comes to recycling in general, but also as it applies to the holiday season is, can I recycle this? Lots of new items make their way into the recycling and waste streams. The more common ones are shown here on this slide. So we'll just go over each of these individual items and where they're supposed to end up in the waste stream, right? So first we have recycling. We have a picture of some Christmas cards here, and there are a lot of unique or what if cases for some of these items, and we'll go over those as best we can here. But moving forward, it's always best to remember, when in doubt, throw it out. If you ever come across an item and you simply cannot find out, how to dispose of it, it's best to throw it out so that it doesn't become a contaminant in the recycling stream. So many Christmas cards are recyclable. They can go into your curbside recycling program. However, if they have things like glitter or ribbons or any type of metallic part of the card, they cannot be recycled. Many Christmas cards these days come with an insert, or you can buy an insert to put sort of enveloped in between the card. And by doing this, you can write all your personal information or messages on that insert, and then when that person gets that card, they can take out the insert and actually reuse that card. So there are options for reusing many of the Christmas cards around these days. Cardboard boxes, inevitably, online shopping, even in-person shopping, many items are coming in cardboard boxes. These are perfectly recyclable. We just ask that you flatten them before you put them into your recycling container. We'll move down. This is just some more options here for wrapping. Some of the wrapping papers that are out are recyclable, typically not, but if it's something simple like this, and it's just a brown paper, those items can be recycled. So we'll move down to reuse. We have gift bags here. These are kind of becoming the best option for gifting during the holiday season, because they have a longer life cycle. They can be reused multiple times. They're durable. They make wrapping incredibly easy, especially for someone like me who's terrible at wrapping. Gift bag and some tissue paper here, you're good to go. You can reuse that over and over again. Same thing with many of the holiday ornaments that we have both on the tree and around our house. If you're purchasing tiny model trees like this, or some people have calendars, some people have trains, dolls, a number of things that are around the house during Christmas. These things have very long lifespan, can be reused over and over again. Same thing with the ornaments that go on the tree. Something that may be less noticeable, or that people don't know that they can reuse a specific item, are Christmas cards that have particular design, such as this one here in the picture. These can be cut and actually made into the tags for presents, right? So each presents usually have a tag to say who it's from and who it's for. You can cut these gift cards into those tags for the next year. We also have Christmas tree lights. These are one of the more common items we typically see in recycling cans just after Christmas. These are not recyclable, at least not in your curbside recycling stream. But again, these have at least several years worth of use in them. So make sure you're saving those Christmas lights. They usually come with a couple extra bulbs in case one or two go out. So just because one or two bulbs go dim doesn't mean that the whole string is bad. So just do your best to repair those and use those lights as much as possible, as many years as possible. And then we have a toss category, right? Unfortunately, at the end of the day, some of the items that we come across during the holiday season just are not reusable, not recyclable. And always keep in mind to try to refuse these items, or at least reduce your reliance on these items during the holiday season. But things like wrapping paper, especially if it has glitter, ribbons, any part of it's metallic, especially once it becomes shredded and crumbled, it is no longer recyclable, and it needs to go into your garbage. All right, so we have a catch-all category, as with all things recycling and solid waste related. But these are some of the items that are specific to the holidays that people tend to get wrong when they dispose of them, right? First and foremost, we have Christmas trees. We do see these end up in recycling containers, because it's a natural item. People think that it can be reused, and it can, just not the way you might think, right? It cannot. These real natural trees cannot go in your recycling container. Neither can fake Christmas trees, believe it or not, even though they may be made out of plastic. It's not a type of plastic, and it's not in a form that can be recycled through the city. So for those fake Christmas trees or the plastic Christmas trees, reuse those as much as possible. And then when it comes to the real Christmas trees, just keep in mind that if you are in Orlando city limits, we will pick it up with your yard waste for the few weeks following Christmas. Styrofoam. So there's a lot of styrofoam, a lot of packing material that comes with gifting during the holiday season. These items are not recyclable in your curbside recycling program, but you can take these items to different locations that Melody mentioned earlier on, grocery stores, even some malls and other stores will have kiosks set up to receive these items, and they'll get recycled separately. Wreaths are very similar to Christmas trees. If all the ornaments and wiring can be removed from those, put them with your yard waste, and they'll be disposed of accordingly. Food waste, we mentioned a couple different times that you can either backyard compost or participate in our food waste drop-off program. So we do have a couple locations throughout the city. They're on an upcoming slide, but you can bring anything to these. You can bring bones, you can bring dairy, fats for this commercially composted program. And then again, our grease recycling program kind of looks like honey, definitely grease. We do have a program set up for all the grease that you may use during your holiday cooking season. All right, so the last thing we have for everyone here is just a brief activity to kind of go over a couple items that maybe we didn't cover right now, but will still come up during the holiday season. So Melody is just going to go over some of these items and do your best in the chat channel to type in which of these categories you think it belongs in, either recycle, reuse, toss, or special disposal. So I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Melody, and she's just going to come up with a couple of these items.
So the first item is a greeting card. I don't know if you see, there's a little bit of glitter on this. Would you recycle, reuse, or toss?
All right, so we have an answer in here. Reuse or toss, that's correct. Thank you, Tamara. So we can reuse that potentially for the name tags on subsequent gifts for the next year, or we can reuse it if maybe it had an insert. We can take the insert out, put in a new one, and reuse it again. If not, then it will have to go into the garbage, into the waste stream.
So the second item is lighting that you would put around your home or around the Christmas tree. Yes, so we can reuse this for several years down the road. If the bulbs go out, or it just doesn't connect anymore, we would just toss this because it's not recyclable. But it's good for several years. And the next item, what about this tinsel? Yes, so this can also be reused as well. Definitely not recyclable because of the material. This type of plastic isn't recyclable. We haven't gone through. So the next item is something that we haven't talked about, but it would be something that I want to.
So just just a normal stocking.
Big or small. Item. that is some sort of like a textile cloth fabric. So this item is also not recyclable, but City of Orlando does have a textile recycling program as well. So you could just do a simple search on the internet, City of Orlando textile recycling drop-off event, and we have that several times a year. So not in your recycling cart.
Right, and those again, can be recycled, just not in your municipal recycling stream. But even before recycling, we can reuse that item. So those stockings, especially if they're hand knitted, even if they're not, they can typically be used for many, many years before they need to be disposed of. All right, so that's it for that short activity. Just want to go over our recycling public drop-off locations. I know I've been kind of alluding to this slide a couple times now, but these are all of our recycling public drop-off locations. The ones in gray are currently down for refurbishment. And then the ones in green also have a food waste drop-off container. So the ones in black, you can take your recycling to. The ones in green, you can take your recycling and your food waste to. All right, so just in case you're still confused, the City of Orlando does have a couple of tools to finding out what to do with these particular items easier. If there's anything we didn't answer today, you can always use our Orlando Collects or What Goes Where tool. This is available in app format as well as just our website. You can type in any item. So for example, you have wrapping paper, you forget what to do with it, you can't find an answer. You type in wrapping paper here and it will actually give you step-by-step directions on where that item should end up. It might say place in your curbside recycling, place in your curbside garbage bin, take to a household hazardous waste facility, place on your curb for pickup during your normal yard waste collection schedule. So any of those items we didn't answer today, if they come up during the holiday season, just use either the app or our website. Or if for whatever reason that doesn't answer your question, here's our contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out to either myself, Evan, Melody, and as well as Brittany McPeak if you have any food waste related questions. If there are any other questions, feel free to ask them now, or definitely use our contact information to reach out to us. All right, looks like there are no immediate follow-up questions. So again, from us at City of Orlando Solid Waste, happy holidays. Thank you for rethinking your waste during the holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you at one of our future webinars or workshops. Thanks, everyone.